Yo, what's going on, guys? Gonna jump in, do a little quick trade review on a few of my AMD trades today. So just two trades, both the same name. Actually was 84% roll trade, so this should be a good one. So I want to go over a quick thought process, just go over some higher time frame levels, just because you guys know I like to build a little bit of a bias before I obviously take these setups. So we'll do a little bit of a top down. AMD, as soon as we got this sort of ascending wedge pattern break above your all-time highs, these are going to be your best trades. Basically Friday we ended up breaking out, which is solid. Usually the best trades are going to happen, the all-time highs continuation. So this was a solid move coming to Friday. So Monday and Tuesday on the watch list. Have a few things on the watch list right now in terms of names I want to look at. So going over some quick levels, I could run down through the daily to 1 hour time frame, but every single time frame is bullish. Actually, let's run through it. Right, we have essentially the only bearish thing looking at this chart is essentially just maybe possibly your daily gap right here. Sorry, right here. That would be the only thing maybe to pull back into for a retest. But aside from that, if we're showing strength, I'm going to continue to take longs. Same idea with the 4 hour, right? Just uptrending, clear wedge pattern. 1 hour, same exact idea. Higher highs, higher lows, flat top break right here. So going to be taking longs. Run to the 15-minute. A few key levels to go over. One was obviously just your wick to body of your all-time high right here. So your 242.90. As soon as we got the break and hold of that on Friday, you want to be, looking for longs on AMD. In terms of the other key levels, you could have your previous day high kind of lined up with your pivot low from yesterday, from Monday. So if you guys are watching this would be tomorrow. This would be Monday's low, Friday's high. Solid key level here. So if we hold above this, potentially a dip and rip situation, or even just trading inside of this range, gonna be good to take longs. Not as good as above your previous day high, which is kind of the last key level. Even better, potentially your pre-market high from Monday, right? That's kind of your next key level of resistance. So this long and this long are going to be the best areas to trade in. Best longs are going to be above there. So let's jump to the lower time frames. First thing I wanted to look for was a 5-minute candle closure above this key level, because if you are trading and you're using 15-minute key levels, then typically speaking, you do want to look for a 15-minute close above. That's not always going to work out. You're going to be late to these setups a lot of times. So I like to use 5-minute candles just to give me a good entry signal. This first one closed pretty good. Would have been nicer if it closed a little bit higher, but we did get that second candle close into it. So let's go to the 1 minute time frame here. So in terms of the first entry, let's talk about this first trade here real quick. This wasn't exactly the textbook setup I was looking for. Your ideal situation would have been a break with some form of displacement, right? Some candle bodies or full even candles themselves closing above this level. So in this case, we did not see that happen right here. There was no real displacement, which is not a good thing. This was a little bit, I wouldn't say this was an aggressive entry, right? Wasn't a true full break and retest. We technically did hold, break above right here and hold this key level. So my entry was just after this 938 candle close, essentially. That was the entry here. Looking for a 2R. Didn't end up working out. That's cool. I would say I would probably take this trade maybe 7, 8 out of 10 times, right? All-time high push, holding above your key level. 5-minute close above looks pretty decent. So I don't think this is by all means a bad setup. I actually really like this. Just ended up working out. Maybe I should have been a little bit more patient. This entry right here would have probably been the more ideal one if you were a bit patient. Your 941 candle, as soon as it starts forming above, could have took that trade as well. So that would be right here. Overall, I'm not really upset. Stop loss was just below the retest, essentially, or your last, basically low of day right here. Or sorry, not low of day, but your last low, where you retested. Target was just a 2R, all-time highs, right? You want to go for those bigger risk-reward setups. So in this case, the trade, I did end up stopping out of this trade. and then re-entering on the 84% rule. So as soon as I seen us reclaim this level on this 956 candle, that was the signal for the entry. So as soon as the 956 candle closed, that was the signal for my entry. Ended up pulling back right away, but wasn't really worried as long as we're still holding above this key zone right here, right? This whole key level right here. So not too worried quite yet. That was going to be my stop for this one. Was not going to be under the lows here. I think it's just a little bit too much risk in terms of options. Could have probably stomached it, but I would have rather just took in a 2 small losses versus a big loss. There's always more trading days, other names we can take advantage of. So in terms of how I played this trade here, essentially just took off 70% of the position, add to your 2R. So in this case, like from your entry and my stop, the 2R was right here, just scaled into the 1003 candle. I didn't take any scales after that. I wanted to just see a bigger push, to be honest, in terms of where my first scale was in terms of the 1003 candle. We did get one new high of day. I was pretty confident in this continuing higher, which later into the session we didn't actually even end up really breaking that level. So it might have been a good idea, but that's in hindsight, right? I can always go back and look at it in hindsight. It was a decent win. I think it was like $700 win. So not bad on the second setup. Made back the whole entire first loss plus a little bit more profit. So overall, not too upset with the setup. I do wish that I did end up staying above this level, maybe to hold some contracts into tomorrow, but I did end up stopping at break even at around, I believe it was a 1040 candle. Had to do the had to grab some breakfast, to have the coaching for 11:30. So if you guys normally do join my coaching sessions too, you guys know that I don't normally trade the 84% rule. So I want to talk a little bit about this one. In this case scenario where you have your previous day high break, your all-time highs in play, right? This was one of the case scenarios where if we hold this level, this is a good reclaim trade, right? So if we look at this, a break, retest, you enter the trade, maybe it doesn't work out. This is when you take the 84% rule again, this reclaim right here. So this is a good example of the 84% rule trade. I do like this 939 entry. I also do like if you entered on the 941, if you did take the similar setup. And then honestly, waiting for this candle to close is pretty key, to be honest. So if you entered this trade at 957, that would also be really good. That was kind of the overall thought process today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have questions. Throw me them in Discord or even in the YouTube. I'll try to get back to ones in YouTube too. And I will see you guys either in the Traders Lab 1-to-1s or the coaching for tomorrow. All right. See you guys.